Hey Sagittarius, I hope you guys are doing great today. So we're going to do a relationship only read and tarot only. So no astrology in this particular one, like I normally do. That I will go back to next week when we talk about the last week of October when Scorpio moves, then the sun moves into Scorpio. If I could speak, that'd be awesome. So let's get right into things. I'm going to start off with those of you who are coupled, and then we'll go into those of you in separation and those of you who are single. Okay, timestamps are going to be below in the description box. I feel like why is like that one wants to come out as well. Let's see what's happening. We have clean it up in the idea of regeneration working together. Okay, what needs to be looked at? So regeneration, this is very like a Plutonian energy, right? It's very about endings and beginnings. It's kind of breathing some fresh life into a situation for those of you who are coupled. And when it comes to clean it up, remember though, we can only clean up the stuff in our own yard. We can't mitigate somebody else's stuff. But this is an energy that indicates that it's time for you to really look at your stuff in a relationship and see where you maybe not showing up as well as you could, as well as you're able to, or what needs to be cleaned up within the relationship. How's the communication been, especially with Mercury retrograde? Maybe it's been a little wonky there, right? Could be, right? So let's pull one more oracle. Tune out distractions, right? And really just focus on the relationship and focus on what's necessary to get this relationship working. Now, this is the thing. I know a lot of you are very, very busy in the career sector. And we're going to keep this just about relationship read, but it's very easy when you're super busy at work or in your public life or having to do with other areas. It's very easy to get very distracted by those things where the focus is taken off of primary relationships. And you do want to be careful of that, okay? You guys kind of did mention that came up actually last week. I saw that in the astrology, and it also came up with the cards. So let's pull a couple of clarifiers. So I'm going to first pull for this regeneration and clean it up, right? So breathing some fresh air into the situation while there is this, clean up in aisle 4, who's not showing up, who's maybe saying that they're going to do A, B, and C, and they're not doing it, whether this is what you're experiencing from a partner, or maybe you're showing up like this in the relationship. So let's see what's going on. We have the Queen of Pentacles, right? All about focusing on mental, physical, emotional health, for mental, physical, emotional connection. This is also focusing on and having the emotional intelligence to recognize what's really necessary to make a situation work. Being very reliable, very supportive, having to do with money, having to do with connection. So this is something that needs looking at. Have you been showing up as well as you should be, could be, right, for this relationship, within this relationship? Are you getting that back from your partner? But this is all about lessons learned, right? So what I like about this is the lesson that needs to be learned is this sort of focus on how is everybody showing up within the confines of the relationship? Because as a general influence, this has to do with marriage. It has to do with fertility. It has to do with pregnancy because it has to do with fertility. The ability to grow the relationship in a way that really resonates with both of you, where you both feel very healthy and grounded in the relationship. And I know that sounds very macro, but it's really not. When we're talking about Pentacle, it's really kind of getting to the core of something, that connection, the connection that you guys have in this relationship. Is it being nurtured, and are things being treated fairly when it comes to the idea of money, of connection, helping out, contributing, right, to the energy within the relationship. Now, as far as tune out the distractions, we have the Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands is very much, it's positive energy for sure. It's about being appreciated. So when we have tune out your distractions, clarified by the Six of Wands, tune out everything and really appreciate what's in front of you. And while doing that, the Six of Wands is also sitting down and having a very good heart-to-heart conversation where there's empathy had because of this open communication where feelings are shared and they're well received. And there's this ability to sort of deepen and fix things for those of you who are actively in a relationship right now. So there's a lot of healing energy that's sort of swimming around this couple reading, but it's all about what are you willing to do and what are you willing to not do? Because I'm going to tell you why, particularly these two energies here, regeneration and the major arcana of the world. Okay. So regeneration, again, is needing to let something die in order for something to be rebirthed, right? So there's got to be this release of something, this release of feeling like things have to be A, B, and C, or this release of handling something in a particular way in order for the relationship to be successful. Now, this is the energy that's desired here. But, is it up to you? Is it up to them? Is it up to the two of you to work together to make sure that this change happens? That's something that maybe the Celtic cross spread will give us some information about. All right, so we're going to pull a Celtic cross spread for our Sagittarius friends, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Any messages the Tarot wants Sagittarius to understand about this relationship? Thank you. There's almost a sense of frustration, feeling I almost feel like there's almost a holding back feeling, a holding back because of something external. Maybe some of you are just working really hard on your job, or some sort of circumstances going on where you feel like you're feeling like, okay, once that's done, or once that's accomplished, then I'm going to be able to deal with this situation going on in the relationship over here, right? But I feel like it's based on busyness. I feel like it's based on expectations of other people external to you, Sag. You feel very pulled. You'd like to manifest something in this relationship, but you're feeling very, again, sort of held back. Maybe it's a money thing, or maybe it's a time thing where money's not a problem, but it's like how to balance the time. Could also be an energy of willingness. So let's drop the screen down so you guys can see the cards. So right now we're in this Three of Pentacles energy. This is you. This represents you right here. Three of Pentacles is a Mars and Capricorn energy. So you're all about collaborating. You're all about coming together and trying to make something work. You are. But your challenge is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is really the ability to get over past obstacles and really getting what you want. Thoughts becoming things. But this is your current challenge right now, to you being able to collaborate and come together with somebody. So this could be, for example, this could be some sort of situation is going on in your life that's preventing you from being able to collaborate, live together, get married, have a child, open a business, whatever it is that you would consider collaborative energy in this relationship. The challenge is some sort of new opportunity that needs to come in to help facilitate that. Now, coming into this, we have the Seven of Cups, which is about choices. It's about confusion. It's about commitment issues as well. Things feel very up in the air, but you absolutely know that you're entering a new stage within this relationship. You can feel the beginning stages of a new stage, if that makes sense, right? You want to make sure in this energy this is the energy coming in. So I feel like a lot of you were very tuned in to your instincts, being fed to you via your emotions, right? Because this is a Venus and Scorpio energy. So some of you may have been like, I'm not sure what I even want in this. Having a hard time committing to A, B, and C. Now, it doesn't have to be to the relationship. It could have to do with having a hard time committing to something that you and your partner have been, knocking around or kicking around, maybe living together, buying a new home, buying a business together, where it could be the confusion and the commitment issues to something independent of the relationship. So maybe you aren't sure if you wanted to get married, if you wanted to live with the person, or if you wanted to take that big step. You weren't sure in the past, but it does certainly seem like you are here, but something's getting in the way. Something's getting in the way. So we have the basis of the situation is the Nine of Pentacles. Now, 9 is the number of productivity. And what I like about this is, on the one hand, it's you working on yourself. This has to do with independent endeavors and really doing some beautiful work on yourself so that you can have a healthier connection within your relationship. And I do like this because it's very healthy, recognizing where you can stand a little improvement within relationship. I mean, we all can, right? We all can, but I like that does seem like you are trying to to do the work. You are trying, like, I feel like a lot of you are sitting quietly with yourself saying, you know, I am totally a better version of myself now than I was, say, like 3 years ago, right? And a lot of you feel very good about that. Now, currently what's going on is this Knight of Cups energy, which is nice. And this is some sort of proposal coming in that's speaking to your heart space. So this could certainly be, you know, will you marry me? Or let's have a baby, or something like that. Or this could even be, for many of you, some sort of external offer coming from the outside to you guys as a couple that ends up bettering your relationship. So this could come in the way of like, thumbs up regarding that house, right? You guys are able to get that house, you know, positive result on a pregnancy test, positive, maybe somebody's investing in something that you and your partner are trying to work on, right? Because it does seem like you guys are trying to work on something. But I feel like, Sagittarius, I feel like there is this connection, this web of connection between something that you're working on, either of your own, some sort of creative project, or something that you're working on within yourself, or again, some sort of independent endeavor. And then there being some sort of offer coming in, and that being the very thing that you've been waiting on as to effectively move forward within the relationship. Now, the advice to look at is the Three of Cups energy. So this idea of support, being encircled by support. There is also the number, the energy of creation. It's the number of building. So I do like this, looking at the amount of support that's being given here, that needs to be recognized. How much support, Sagittarius, are you giving to your relationship? Or are your energies kind of scattered right now by circumstance? Because it does seem like the energy that you're dealing with, they are detecting some sort of toxicity in the situation, right? And they're kind of pulling away. And this can manifest emotionally rather than physically initially, right? I mean, it's a minor arcana, and you could sleep together, you could sleep next to this person every night and be with them every day, but in their mind, they're detaching. And you know, it's almost like this recognition that I feel like this person that you're in connection with here is saying to themselves, okay, look, Sagittarius isn't going to change. Situation is what it is. I have to just detach myself from it and really focus on myself, and maybe not wanting to even make a decision regarding anything. But it does seem like, I mean, very directly, Sagittarius, and this is, I am not throwing shade. The cards are what they are. Those of you who know the cards know this is a challenge position. This is your internal psychology. And what is your challenge? Your challenge is to learn a lesson that needs to be learned. We got the world. The world is all about learning a lesson. So there's some sort of delay in you learning a lesson. I still believe that you can, because it's the world, and the world and the sun, there's no negative way of looking at it. But when it shows up in a challenging position, there's delay. There's something that you're not seeing here regarding the relationship. Now, in the near future, we have the idea of temperance. So temperance is recognizing what's necessary to balance a situation. What do you need? What do they need? What does the situation need? And having, you know, utilizing empathy and cooperation, patient cooperation, in a way to get past what maybe you guys are considering kind of a difficult time period within your relationship. But there's a lot of love and respect here with the temperance. It's sitting down and validating and recognizing, right, in the near future. But the final outcome, you're going to be confused. The Two of Pentacles is this energy of negotiating, right? So negotiating, something is not going to seem like completely obvious. So you may be in the space of needing to negotiate how things are moving forward. Pentacles, when we're dealing with the Pentacles, yes, again, it could have to do with money. And if this was a relationship read, it would be probably a little more applicable to that. But when we're doing a relationship read, Pentacles can show up as mental, physical, emotional connection. And you being in the space of negotiating the path that you're on in your relationship. And if you feel like you may just be looking at where is the idea of lack within the relationship. Now, again, those of you who've been together for a long time, this does not have to be, I want to be in the relationship or out of the relationship. For some of you, it will be, but for others of you, it could just simply be, all right, I need to make a choice. Should we move here or should we move there? Where am I going to experience the greatest sense of lack? And where am I going to feel the most peaceful satisfaction? You know what I mean? And it's that need to figure out what is your truth regarding some sort of situation that you and your partner are trying to work through. If it's that, for some of you, it's going to be like, do I want to be in this relationship? Do I not want to be? But it is definitely a this or that sort of energy. So let's pull the clarifiers for that. Interesting. I have to pull another one on that. Okay. So I feel like you guys are entering into something new that's really speaking to your heart space. So maybe some of you are, I don't know, just starting this beautiful new cycle in your relationship. Some of you finding out you're pregnant, maybe you're moving into a new home, you're starting a business, something Ace of Cups. It's something brand new that's speaking to your heart space, right? And you're very much thinking about your future though. So some of you may be doing something that is meant to advance your future together. The Two of Wands is a couple of things though, and I just do have to say what it is. The Two of Wands can indicate somebody meeting somebody new, either through work or friends. For some of you, it's going to resonate like that. For others of you, this is moving on sort of with a fresh path, a kind of a new perspective in a new way. So this would be very relevant for those of you, again, who are moving maybe into a new home, or you're just finding out that you are pregnant, right? That's going to change things moving into the future. Or there's some sort of new opportunity that's been opened up in your relationship that's going to end up changing the dynamic of the relationship. So some sort of dynamic is going into a shifting phase here. Now, this Two of Wands, there are two aspects, again, to a situation whenever we have a two. So there are two aspects of a situation, and you need to figure out which is going to make you happiest. And it seems like that is a recurring theme through this. Should I do this? Should I do that? And in order to make a really responsible decision, you have to figure out first and foremost, what is the information that you're dealing with? And where are you going to be able to maximize what it is that you're looking for? Because there's something that you're feeling very trapped in. The Eight of Swords is a very trapped energy. It's a very internal psychological manifestation of feeling trapped, because there may be a recognition that whatever situation is going on within this relationship, you're wondering, or feeling anyway, more than a wonder, that things are always going to be like this. It's never going to change. So you may be in the space of saying, wow, I mean, I really felt like I belonged in this at one point, but right now I don't feel like I belong in it anymore, you know? And some of you are seriously thinking about somebody from the past, Sag. Some of you are, not everybody. Some of you are. Six of Cups can certainly be an energy of reconciliation for those of you who still have somebody in your energy from the past. It could be that. Others of you, you're in the space of wanting to reconcile a situation, but really having a deep challenge with it, because this could also be this feeling where you're like, okay, you know, maybe I haven't been treated the best, or maybe I haven't been treating my partner the best, right? Somebody has suffered some sort of mistreatment, and things have the opportunity to be remedied here through reconciling various things that have happened up to this point in the relationship. And because it's sitting right between the Eight of Swords and the Devil, there's obviously this imbalance and this feeling of trapped and feeling like things are never going to change. And there could be a lot of difficulty in balancing out the imbalance here. I see you want to, I see the person that you're with wants to, but I also feel like there's this very clear energy of defensiveness that's going on here as well. But with the Devil, remember, the Devil is in numerology, it's the Lover's card, right? Which is Gemini, but it's all about a choice, and recognizing that you have a choice to work on relationship and a choice to work on the challenges, or you have the choice not to. But if you are going to, you have to be in a space with somebody who's equally willing. And that's the other side of the Devil, because the Devil represents imbalance. It represents, you know, egotism and narcissistic tendencies. It could indicate addiction. It could indicate anything. And all of those can be very, very dramatic and traumatic. It doesn't actually have to be that grand. Just the idea of things being out of balance and this need to balance something. But I'm not feeling very, I'm not getting a very all in vibe as far as wanting to balance things out, because you're in this space of wondering what it is that you even really want at the end of the day, moving out into the future. You're feeling very defensive right now, again, with the Seven of Wands. I mean, you're in a good position. You are, but you're like drawing that line in the sand. This is what I'm willing to do. This is not what I'm willing to do, right? And then we have this High Priestess energy. So again, because this is a relationship read, I always say, listen to the messages holistically and apply them to your situation accordingly. Don't try to make it fit if it doesn't, but this could be vice versa. So this could be everything I'm saying about what you're feeling. This could obviously be a partner, but clarifying that Seven of Wands, clarifying that element of defensiveness, I feel like there's some secrets that you're just not disclosing. The High Priestess energy is a very keep it quiet kind of energy, because it's the moon, and the moon rules our emotions, and the moon also changes every couple of days. So you may be completely into it one day and not so into it a day or two later. And you may be in the space of vacillation, of feeling like you know what you want and then not knowing exactly what it is that you want. And then we have the Ten of Wands, which is the card of overwhelm, right? It's overwhelm. It's a lot of responsibility. It's feeling like what's being asked of you in the relationship is just a little too much for you to be able to achieve what it is that you want in this life, and also maintain a healthy connection within this relationship. So it's like, I got to put the wands down. I got to put this down. I can't do it anymore. Really is that energy of overwhelm. The Ten of Wands is also an energy that could indicate ignoring, but not giving the relationship the attention that it needs in order to grow and continue to be healthy because of other things going on in life. So maybe, again, going back to this idea, because it is a very busy month for many of you regarding, if it's not your career, it's your attempt to build your career or dealing with other people. So there can be this energy going on of not giving the relationship the attention that it needs. And you just want to be very, very careful here, Sagittarius, because if you want this relationship to work, keep in mind where they're at. They're in this space where they're just mentally stepping away. You want to be careful of this, because this is the kind of thing where if somebody can effectively emotionally detach, and that's not tended to, you don't want this to become a comfortable place for them, because that ends up going nowhere good, right? So make sure that you're connecting and make sure you're talking, right? This energy, this read is for October into November. We have a lot of big players. We have Mercury, we have Jupiter, we have Pluto, we have Saturn, all going direct by the end of the month. So there is going to be this feeling of decongestion throughout your energy. And so if you've been feeling very held back and being able to talk openly and honestly, maybe give it another go towards the end of the month. I don't recommend on the 18th, but just wait until like either that last week into the beginning of November. Okay, my friends, that is what I have for you guys. Now let's pull a couple of oracles for those of you in separation. Shine your light. And breathe. Yeah. Stay grounded. Stay grounded. You have good stuff going on in other areas of your life. It does seem like, shine your light. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Just breathe while you do it. Our breathe always comes up when we're talking about people who have very busy calendar going on. I still feel deeply connected to you, but I won't admit it. That's the first card up. My heart keeps coming back to you, even though I know you've lost faith in me. Snake, competition, enemy, clever, malicious. The other woman, the other man. So there could be there could have been some sort of cheating going on. There could be some sort of, maybe there was no cheating in the relationship, but maybe since you guys were together, even though you're still in each other's energy, there is this other person that you feel either they feel competitive with, maybe you're involved with somebody new, or vice versa. Keys on a ring, many options, decision, unconventional, string along, one night stand. Okay, all righty. Yeah. What we have coming up. You're the emperor right now, Sag. Your challenge is the Empress energy. Your challenge is love. The Empress is like, you have a clear vision of what you want in a relationship, but your challenge is actually finding it for some of you. For others of you, the challenge could be the idea of children. The challenge could be for you right now, your marital partner. For a lot of you, you want to get back with this person, but you're feeling like your ability to actually grow in the relationship, all of these things are very Venusian, right? Is very inhibited because it's showing up as your challenge. But remember, the Empress is the mother of the tarot. It's straight up Venus, and Venus rules growth, having to do with sense of self, self-esteem, growth in life in general, growth in love, growth in money even, right? So some of you may literally be financially challenged in the way of being able to advance the relationship to the point where it's meant to be. This guy wants to come out. Okay. Oh, but your thinking cap was definitely on in the recent past, right? With that Four of Swords energy is all about stepping back for assessing, to assess a situation, to figure out a better strategy regarding whatever was going on here. Okay, so Spirit is asking you to pay attention to any sense of disappointment that you've been feeling, but you're having a hard time letting it all go. You are having a hard time letting it go. So there might have been some situation that you guys wanted to manifest in the relationship, but because you had these two working together, Emperor is all about fresh path, new perspective. It's an Aries energy, which is ruled by Mars. It's like, come on, let's sit down. Let's talk about the future. Let's see how things are going to be. But being challenged by this idea of love, by maybe the idea of money, whatever would, again, not to be repetitive, but whatever it is that would be indicative of growth for you, and you going into that energy, really trying to strategize and problem solve and figure things out. The basis of this situation right now is focusing very much on the future. A lot of you are very focused on the idea of marriage. For some of you, for others of you, some of you are just very focused on your future and just being like, bye, past. Whatever's been going on up to this point, gotta go. Turning your back on the past and you being called forth by new energy that's very unconventional, that's very different than anything that you've been involved with before. And you just really wanting to grow your life in the future, right? You might not have all the answers, right? You notice he has one hand on one wand and the other two wands are kind of hanging out here, right? But remember, we have three. Three is the number of creation. And all of the emotions are here, and the ship indicates kind of like a new life. But look, we can't see his face. He's turning his back on the past. And that's the basis of the situation right now, though, is you may be in the space of, I have to turn my back on the way everything was in order for me to move forward. We have the Judgment energy is the current situation right now, which is Pluto. And this is about assessing the situation, assessing the relationship, and moving it into a new phase, and recognizing that everyone did the best they knew how in the moment. This is you forgiving yourself for everything that happened in the relationship, and you forgiving the person that you were dealing with. Everybody's forgiving everyone. Toothpaste is out of the tube. You can't turn back the hands of time. It simply is what it is at this point. And everyone did in the moment the best they knew how in the moment, whether we like it or not. That's what we all thought was necessary, right, at that time. And it's just recognizing that. But this is the energy of transformation. It's endings to make way for a new beginning. Now, as you're processing what hasn't been working out here, there's got to be this recognition of the energy of disappointment, disillusionment, feeling let down, feeling vulnerable, any feelings of vulnerability that you experienced or that you maybe potentially, put upon somebody else that you were in relationship with. But it's a very, like the moon energy is very, because it's hidden. And there is this energy of disillusionment and disappointment and feeling let down. And you need to look at that. Now, the energy of the person that you've been dealing with, it's kind of this sort of thing where it's like with sadness but no regret, there's a walking away, right? Because this is a Saturn and Pisces energy. And they're in this space where they're realizing that no matter how hard they try, they're not going to be able to end up in a situation with you that's going to end up feeling really good to them. And it's almost like you guys may have been speaking like different, like they say love languages, or just being on different pages altogether about how things may have gone. But this is not malicious energy. And this is also the energy of somebody who has likely checked out before checking out. So they may have been in that Six of Swords energy, which I was talking about in the couple one, where it's sort of like where they were emotionally pulling themselves away a little bit at a time from the situation. Because to them, and this is very subjective, but to them, something didn't feel good to them. Something felt toxic to them. But we have in your emotional challenges the 10 of Wands, and the 10 of Wands is the card of overwhelm. So you're feeling overwhelmed can be a challenge for you. Some of you, again, can just be very, very busy. And it's like you don't have the time in the day or the energy in your body to actually address whatever does need addressing within this relationship in the way that your partner needs it addressed, because of all of these other responsibilities. For many of you, for others of you, the challenge is just in recognizing the energy of overwhelm, the energy of like what's required. And that could just be very difficult, because the Five of Swords is coming up in the near future. And the reality is the life that you want to live, and the reality that you were living in this relationship, or that you would be living within this relationship, they clash. You can't square it. And it's not, and for you, it's not because of you. But naturally, that's a subjective energy, right? But you identifying, look, but the issue is really not me. I'm here, I'm doing me. The issue is them. And you're dealing with somebody who might be, I'm not going to say stamping their feet, but feeling like, look, I can't do things differently. And maybe they can't, depending on what's going on in their life. Like, this is what I could bring to the table. And you feeling this frustration and feeling this, sense of conflict. It's ongoing conflict that you're feeling within yourself about something just not being okay here. So you're better off really just walking away from the situation, with grace and dignity. And if they come around at another point, they come around, and I feel like they will, to be honest with you, because the final outcome energy is the King of Cups, which does indicate settling conflict within self as well as with somebody else regarding emotions. And because this Five of Swords is a minor arcana, I'm never worried about these fives, because it's an argument. It's being in a weird space. It's not getting one's way. You may feel like things need to be a particular way. They may not agree with you. You guys are not on the same page. But it does seem like those of you in separation, it's like you're not hearing each other. You guys are not hearing each other clearly enough, right? So let's pull some cards here. Wow, we have the 10 of Cups. Wow. Look at this, Sag. All right, I'm going to pull them up. Okay, can we have any more major arcanas? Why don't we just keep it going? Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So I just want to say tarot is the energy that's going to be going on unless we can step in and mitigate. That's why I'm sure you guys have been watching tarot for a long time, at least me. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. We have this idea of the 10 of Cups energy. This is sort of the sub-narrative under it. So this is all about happiness, feeling connected, feeling safe, feeling secure within the relationship, and feeling like a lesson's been learned. Okay, I know what needs to be done. I know what needs to be done. And we have reached a turning point here. It's the Jupiter energy. So it's time to revisit things and go back. It's time to take a chance and just, throw caution to the wind. But there's something that's holding you back. This High Priestess energy is sort of like, and I feel like you're not being very open and communicative regarding the situation with anyone. You may just be keeping this within yourself, but you are learning, like, in order for you to have this level of happiness, you've learned some sort of lesson and you want to go back, you want to try it again. And that's what's coming up here. That's what the wheel means, is going back and revisiting something, right? Wheels go round and round. It's up to you to decide what the bones of the relationship were like initially. Right? If this person was a narcissist and there were, whatever unhealthy things there, or if you feel like you're trying to fit a circle in a square, don't even bother with it. But I feel like some of you are going to want to bother with it. You may not even be talking to anybody about it again. So, this is you just trying to figure things out. But at the end of the day, there is some sort of conversation that's going to include some Knight of Coins energy. And we're talking about Nine of Coins energy. It's like, look, yeah, this person's there, they're solid. There's an element of familiarity that I know what I'm dealing with here, but there is undeniably something that's missing. So you may be hearing this from someone, or you may be telling somebody this. You may be delivering some painful truths, or you may be hearing them from somebody where it is this kind of thing where, I feel like something's lacking. Something is just not enough, and fill in the blank with that. And it ends up inciting a lot of pain and stepping away and detaching, right? We do have the Six of Sword energy coming up again. And the Three of Swords is the card of pain and indicates depression, but it does indicate the lights coming on. And at least, you're going to know exactly where you stand. So there's no more confusion. If there had been confusion, this is just heartache and pain. And this detachment and this need to move on from the situation, even though some sort of lesson has been learned. So, I always say, though, this is tarot, right? And we're not puppets, right? We're human beings. So if this pain can be mitigated, if this sense of lack can be talked about in a very open and honest way. For example, let's say somebody's like, look, this relationship is just not exciting enough for me. It's, we do the same old thing. There's nothing interesting. We're not connected. There's no romance, whatever. That's something that could be fixed if you feel motivated to, right? Or, I really am not happy with how we connect. You may be saying that to them. They may be saying it to you. As far as intimacy, as far as that, that's something you could work on. How willing are you to work on it? And so, you know what I'm saying? To help mitigate these energies. But that is what's coming up for those of you who are in separation. So let's move on. For those of you who are single, ready to mingle. Okay. Not feeling it. Reach for the stars. That means don't settle. Okay. Reach for the stars means don't settle. You don't have to settle. Sense to settle. Not that I think you would be, Sagittarius, but it's besides the point. Like, if you feel tempted, don't. Here and now, live in the moment. Be in the moment. Don't worry too much about the future. Don't worry so much about where you've been. Just worry about right now and focus on not settling. And in that is going to require you becoming very clear on what it is that you want. King of Swords right now is you. Okay. Well, who doesn't like the star in relationship read? That's a fabulous outcome. So let's see what we have. Okay, we have the Hermit energy coming into this. That makes sense. For our single friends, going into hermit mode, thinking about past relationships, looking for those common denominators involved in it all, right? Cycles. And that's really what it is, right? I mean, the hermit is a Virgo energy, and Virgo is all about problem solving. It's the landlord of the sixth house of problems. So just really thinking about everything, being very introspective, some of you stepping off, sort of being on your own, doing your own thing. And what I think is interesting here is you're very King of Swords, very in the mental realm, not allowing your emotions to get the better of you here. I mean, this is very much what it is that you're trying for, but what's challenging you is the desire for the strength energy, which is Leo, and Leo's the landlord of the fifth, which is all about falling in love affairs, romance, feeling connected. I feel like a lot of you are missing the friendship of companionship more than anything. But this is an energy of romance and of love, right? And just feeling that. So you're trying to be very sort of keeping your emotions at bay, but it's very difficult, right? Particularly when we're talking about relationship energies. Now we have the Nine of Wands that are in reverse here as the foundation energy. And I kind of like this better in the reverse because this indicates an energy of harmony and of healing and just getting over things, right? That have been really troubling you up to this point. You've being in a space where you're like, I'm going to say unapologetic, but where you're not willing to take part in unhealthy cycles. You don't want to deal with the drama. You don't want to run in straight out of the gate and feel like you need to defend yourself for your basic fundamental beliefs. Those are very important to you. And you're not feeling that, right? You're just not. You're all about the lover's energy. And the lover's is you're making a choice here. Right now, you're in the space of making a choice and saying that you recognize that in order to be in relationship, things need to be called out and discussed when things are in balance, but you're recognizing that you have to be in a relationship with somebody who is there with you working it out. And it can't be any sort of one-way streets involved. As the lover's energy is that the card of choice, recognition that nothing's perfect, and we could do this if we work at it together and equally. And I feel like this is such a healthy spread for those of you who are single, because it's like, I'm not settling. I'm not allowing myself I'm not letting myself defend myself straight out of the gate. I'm staying open to compromise. I'm staying open to all of that, but I'm also staying open to the fact that I can't do it alone because there needs to be reciprocity involved here. So what is the advice here? Ace of Pentacles, new start, new connection. Allow yourself to meet new, allow yourself to open up. I feel like a lot of you are just so unbelievably focused on work or other areas in your life right now that you're not even letting yourself go there. That's for a lot of you. For others of you, the energy here is suggesting that you focus on some sort of new project or new job that you're involved in, because it's very likely that through that, you're going to meet somebody who, oh, I love this. This is very friendship, very strength energy here. You're going to end up meeting somebody where there's this nice reciprocity. This is an energy that's external to you. So again, the Six of Pentacles is this idea of, it's a moon and Taurus energy. So emotions, right? And Taurus is rule like your day-to-day, what you do for your money in the day-to-day. This has to do with, so I feel like emotions. Okay. So some of you may be meeting somebody, maybe if you're involved in any sort of meditative retreat or any sort of self-help program, maybe feeling very connected to somebody within that realm, maybe that you are doing yoga with, meditation, doing some sort of spiritual retreat, anything like that. This could be meeting somebody at work. This could be meeting somebody through, maybe you're out shopping for things for your home, right? Because the Taurus energy has to do with your own personal possessions. It has to do with how you feel about yourself. Taurus also rules that the foods you eat, right? The foods that you put in your body. So you can maybe be out eating with friends and you end up connecting with somebody, but there is this new energy of connection, which is really nice. But this is what's interesting, is that the Page of Pentacles is actually your challenge. And this makes total sense to me, right? Because right now this indicates a very busy time. It does. It indicates a busy time that ends up bringing in this new connection, but you're probably kind of concerned about, all right, well, I'm starting a new cycle here. Here I go. And this is like a new connection, but do I have the time? Do I have the emotional energy to put in a new connection? So it's almost like be careful what you wish for sort of energy. Because because I see you're in the space of wanting to meet somebody. You want to, but at the same time, it's like when you are you willing to put in what's necessary to actually make it work? Look at these cards. This is just so beautiful. We have the Magician card in the near future. Hello, this is fab. This is straight up Mercury, which rules Gemini and Virgo. So communicating to problem solve. This is very deep, deep conversations, really understanding each other and getting each other. So now chemical card as well. This is creating something new. New relationship, new relationship. So you might be meeting, Gemini or Virgo. And then we have the star, which is Aquarius, is the final outcome energy, which is you are destined to be with somebody. So it really is an energy where open yourself up now. The gates are beautifully positioned for this energy to step in to connect you to a soul connection energy. And I'm being very careful. I'm saying soul connection instead of soul mate, because I'm not actually feeling soul mate energy. I feel like this is healthier than that. Soulmates are not always healthy. Soulmates are where we learn a lot of lessons. I feel like this is more soul connection. Sag, I feel like this person, you and this person, you guys have a lot in common. There are a lot of common interests. So how beautiful is that? Because don't you want to just like flop around the world and travel? Because that's what Sagittarians ideally love to do, because you guys are the energy of the traveler, or someone to sit around and philosophize with, or to speak about the existential side of life, or spirituality, or again, or travel, or the law in society, sitting around and talking about that, or even the idea of marketing and advertising, launching something as well. So I feel like there's this beautiful connection coming in. Beautiful. This is the best single read I've pulled so far. So congratulations, go Sag. Let me know how you make out. This is for October into November. So give it a second to roll out, because these energies do need to come out of retrograde. They really do. Please. All right, guys, that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. You guys have a beautiful week, and I will see you guys next time, where we're going to talk about the last week of October when the sun moves into Scorpio. See you then. Bye-bye.